What up, world? How we doing? Monday morning, baby. Here we are again. Shout out to everybody that's up, going to work, going to school, getting them beautiful babies up. We got a car on the wrong side of the highway right here. Not sure what's going on. This is a wild morning. Look like somebody is slumped over in that driver's seat. Thoughts and prayers. Holy moly, what is going on this morning? So down the street, I was driving by and it's a bunch of police officers there and it's all taped up. And that Monte Carlo got somebody slumped over in the driver's seat. So what a way to start this Monday. But shout out to everybody that's up, going to work, going to school, getting them kids up. On the other side of the globe, my people already at work. Prayers, man, prayers. This is a crazy world we live in. And man. Hope you tapped in with the plug this morning and said thank you for another day, because from the looks of it, somebody in that Monte Carlo right there, they've left Earth. And I don't know what's going on in that apartment building, but like I said, it's yellow tape all around it. So be grateful for that you're still here and check on your loved ones. I will say though, the best part about, me still living in this environment, I can't really say it's the best part about it, is that, I really protect my children from the negativity. Like, we don't watch the news in our house. We don't listen to the mainstream radio stations. I really keep it positive and uplifting. A lot of people ask me, where do I go to for inspiration? Man, I look at my kids' face. They are my biggest push for greatness. One, because of how much they look up to me. But two, because I know how hard I fought to get them, and now that I got them, I can't stop. Like, it means a lot in this world that we live in, with divorce rates crazy and, custody battles and child support, that I can say I get to raise all my children 7 days a week, 365. That's a blessing. No dollar amount can replace that. It's men with so much money. Kanye worth how much? $1 billion? And he don't get to see his children. He don't have the influence over his children that I have. So God has blessed me in ways I never could have imagined. But I do a really good job in keeping my children's energy up and speaking life into them. Having them consume positive information. Earl Nightingale, the strangest secret in the world. My June bug, he be 9. His birthday is the day after mine. Mine's June 22nd. His birthday June 23rd. And he's probably the biggest little Ryan Upchurch fan it is. And just to see his transition from being all into the NBA young boy and the dark hip hop, because that's what he was presented to in his previous environment, for me to be able to show him there's a range of music. You don't have to be one dimensional. It's beautiful to see his evolution in life, and it makes me want to keep growing. And for you watching this video, what's your why? It ain't got to be your children. It could be yourself. When you look in the mirror, are you proud of yourself? Are you happy with yourself? If not, then what Mike Jack say? He's starting with who? You know the bars. Go ahead and sing it in your head. I know right now, if you're listening, you're singing that song in your head. Because we all connected in spirit. And in a society that wants to break you down and wants to criticize you, like I said, if I'm turning this camera on, I'm trying to uplift you. Now, I ain't selling you no pipe dream saying you just deserve to have greatness and you don't have to put in no work in. You can just lay back and put your feet up. No, you give back what you put out. And you know what you want in this thing called life. You know what's important to you. You know what habits you need to drop. You know what you need to improve on. When I wanted to get better at dribbling with my left hand, I used to take a belt and tie my right hand behind my back when I was at the park. I started brushing my teeth with my left hand. I used to be sitting in class doodling with my left hand. And now the left hand is natural as the right hand in all areas of life. But you got to be willing to go through that period of where you suck, where it's terrible. I remember not knowing how to hold the pencil with the lefty. Throwing the left hand pass was, oh God, especially not behind the back. I'm working on that with my children now. I got them brushing their teeth with their left hand. And I believe it takes 66 days to make something a habit. I read that in The Compound Effect. I don't know if you've read that book. I think it's by Darren Hardy, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really good book. But every day it's brick by brick, day by day, drop by drop. And as Nipsey said, the marathon continues. It ain't a sprint. Because if you're on a treadmill, actually I could tie this in with my kids. Because on this weekend, my son was in the basement on the treadmill. And I said, what speed you were on? He was like on 5 and he was sprinting. And I said, what good is it that if you could only do speed 5 for 60 seconds, why don't you work on doing speed 3 for 5 minutes? Stretch it out. And we got to go through that in life because we all want to be able to change our situation overnight. And they said the visionary is often tortured by the vision, because you know what you see in your imagination, but when you open your eyes, you're still dealing with what's in your current reality. But that's why they say the faith without work is dead. And that's why I say you should be happy and in a state of thanksgiving and gratitude. Because regardless of what you see right here, you know it's going to change. You don't know exactly when. But wouldn't it suck if you was like in a bad mood, you was really irritated and negative, and then 30 seconds later, you got hit with this great opportunity or get hit with this great blessing, and here you are pouting and all frowning and stuff. That's why I say you got to disconnect yourself from negative things, from negative people, from negative environments. And if that comes with you really being dummy isolated from the world, then so be it. Because like minds will always find each other. I wasn't expecting the channel to grow like this. I was just trying to tell my kids I love them every day, and here I am talking to people all around the world, and they giving me advice, and we recommending books and music and all that, man. And it's a whole vibe out here. And the reason I tell everybody to get a gift to the world, because really everybody has something to offer. And let's say today was your last day. What would die inside of you? What would nobody get to know about you? What would nobody get to experience? Because we all good at something. We all got something that we've practiced and we've tried when we was on our own. Before I started playing basketball like in front of people, I used to practice by myself. When I started this YouTube thing, I used to like try to make videos, record myself talking just to see how comfortable I could be doing it. And I was like, nah, that's stupid. Nah, that's dumb. Man, ain't nobody gonna watch this. And one day I just stepped out on faith, and here we are still going. But if I never started, we never get this far. And I never get to touch so many people. And I never thought the same way that I'd be sitting listening to Earl Nightingale or listening to Bob Proctor, and I'd be like, man, they said that? It's almost like humbling to know people gonna look at me the same way, or people do look at me the same way. And I know you out there, you got a story to tell, regardless of what it's about. If it's about relationships or food or cooking or being a mama or a daddy, just give your art to the world. Something to fight against what's out here, especially if you care about the future and where it goes. It's not about anybody liking it. It's about you just expressing yourself and doing your thing. And what's meant to be will be. And on this Monday morning, we got the sun shining. It's a little chilly here, especially for middle of June. What little baby say? It's the middle of the summer, I got a hoodie on. Man. Another book I wanted to recommend is The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles. I've checked that out a few times. And he has some really, really interesting work. And another author that I can't think of his name now, but the book A Man's Search for Himself. See, back in November, December, when I was working at UPS, loading trucks, I used to just put my headphones in and just listen to books. And I worked the graveyard shift, so I was going in at like 12:45 a.m., 1:15 a.m., getting off at like 9:30, 10, sometimes 11. But that whole time I just listened to books. I was just listening to books, so I gained a lot of knowledge. So you, man, in the in-between periods, when you trying to get to where you want to be, find any time you can to advance yourself, to better yourself. And what's meant to be will be. I keep saying that because 2 years ago, I thought life was gonna move a lot faster. I remember I did a collaboration with like Brandon Tatum and ABL, and I was like, okay, we about to start moving. I had more opportunities coming in, and everything just dry halted. And that was a test for me in life. Do I quit? Is this what I'm not supposed to be doing? Did I do something wrong? Or do you keep going? And life gives all of us a test. And I don't know what your test will be or what my test may be, but when they put a roadblock up, you hop over that thing. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And for some reason, the world wants you to quit. And I want you to keep trying and believe in yourself. And it was another, I think it was Napoleon Hill said the average person, they stopped. No, it's Acre of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. And he said the average person stops one step of striking riches and not understanding that riches are right in front of them. And so many people say, well, this ain't meant for me, or I can't do this. And it's like, just slow down and think about what you're really saying. Why would you say something isn't meant for you? The vision is in your head. Anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. I have a video I'm going to make by Ernest Holmes, and it's for my believers and my non-believers. I find there's some really dope information out here in this world, and whether you believe in Christianity or whatever, it's all tied together. And I keep saying that we all universally got something in common that matters so much more than our skin color or our sexuality, and they don't want our children to think any higher than that. And it's really disheartening, but like I said, I'm doing my best to be a God's soldier. And when he's done with me, then he'll let me know. But I need more of y'all out there as well, too. I don't want to say, I just need more of y'all guys to protect y'all children. Really be involved in your children's life. Do what you can to shield them from the world. I don't think it's everybody's best interest, or it makes the most sense to go pick fights or publicly say what you feel. You know, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But as a father myself, I think the best thing you could do is shield your children from the world, man. Whether that's throwing the football with them, playing outside with them. I'm coaching my kids' flag football team. I sit downstairs and play the video game with them. I just really try to be involved in their life so they can pick up on daddy's principles and not the world. I had a conversation with my father over the weekend, and I told him, you know, the one thing that you can't change the past, but I wish he would have paid more attention to me, because if he did, I'm not covered in tattoos. I don't have 7 children by 3 different women. You know, a lot of things are different if I'm closer to my father, but because he got off work and he popped open a beer and that's what he went to, it left me vulnerable to the world. And during my generation, the world was pushing Stunned Like My Daddy, Lil Wayne, on the front of the Source magazines covered in tattoos. And that's what I wanted to be. It was presenting, you know, Nelly, Tip Drill, and all those things. And I wasn't able to see a bigger side of life, or to see that I had a bigger purpose outside of just sleeping with women. And you fast forward to those same kids who live in those same environments. Man, they getting hit with way worse propaganda than I was. I went to Purcell in Kansas City, which was known as the gay high school, and it was nothing like society is pushing now. And it's a lot of kids who just caught up in the worldly. Like I said, the Black Lives Matter things. When you lonely and you don't have the comfort and the support of your parents, why wouldn't you gravitate to a group as a child? You show me a 10-year-old kid who just want to just stand on their own in this big old world. Especially with social media now, it definitely ain't possible. You don't want to be the outcast online, and you already lonely in real life. If you lonely in real life, you at least want to feel like you fit in when you get online. And me knowing that, being the lonely kid who gravitated to getting a bunch of tattoos so I could fit in an environment, to sleep with a bunch of women because I was told that make you a man. I don't want my sons to go through that period. I don't want my sons to feel like, well, I gotta be able to count on both hands how many chicks I done slept with, or I ain't really winning. That's a waste of time, you know. I don't want my children to fall victim to the things the world throws at them. And I know it's a lot of parents out here who feel the same way, and their life may be a little more difficult with their work situation or their relationship situation, but it's the one relationship that we have the possibility to make perfect, because they're given to us. They're little babies and they just hand it to us, and it's our job to mold them how we want to. You can't mold your spouse. You meet them and they already got habits set in. You can't change your mama and daddy. You can't change your coworkers, but your children are given to you with the opportunity for you to make that relationship perfect. And you see a lot of people say it ain't no hope for the youth. It's like, well, who raised them? I've never been one to feel like you should point fingers at the kids or what they fall victim to. You got to ask, what type of parents do they have? What type of environments do they grow up in? See, it makes sense why all the political parties, they target the kid. I mean, it makes perfect sense if you ask me. Because most parents are just really out of touch with what their children are consuming, what their children are thinking, how their children feel. And that's because they got their own stress, their own demons, their own trauma inside of them. And if we all could, we would heal before we have children so they can get the fullest version of ourselves. But life don't play out that way. I was 20 years old when I became a father, and then they just kept coming. And I just luckily have been able to wake up enough to see that, who I am and how I carry myself is extremely important to my children. Them watching me lift weights, they smile so much when they see me lifting heavy weights, when they see me running on the treadmill, when they see me doing pull-ups. And I never thought that I would feel that type of happiness. We men, we taught that we got to be hard, and I used to shoot guns in the air as a kid, and I wasn't taught to have feelings, and no one ever remotely let me know how strong of a relationship you can have with your children. It's a lot of men out here and they feel like their highest purpose is to have a ton of money, and maybe that is. But I feel like my highest purpose is to raise some good kids, some strong, healthy, positive, loving human beings. Because you gotta love yourself in this crazy ass world. And there's a small things when my son just runs up to me and says, "Daddy, I love you." When I grab my keys, the first thing my daughter say, "Daddy, where you going?" It's little things that sometimes they can irritate you, but you'll be able to look back and you'll miss them when they never happen anymore. And I know it's a lot of people who watch my content. As I say, we've all been through something in life. We all have things that irritate us and that get on our nerves, but one day they'll no longer be there. And so I challenge you, try to find the beauty in everything that gets on your nerves. Try to find the beauty in every little situation. I can remember it was a point when my mama would call me and I would be, mama calling again. And she don't call no more. And even my daddy called me so much. God, I promise my daddy called me 2-3 times a day. And it's always like at the most inconvenient times. But I'm training myself to know one day I won't see his name come across my caller ID. So I gotta be happy, because I never know when that last one is gonna be. And if you get anything from me every time you watch my videos when I say I believe in you, I believe in you. Because I don't know when the last time you've heard that. I don't know how often you hear it. And I never know when you won't hear it again. Once we really start to value life, we look at it differently. As funny as a comedian as DC Young Fly is, when I know he hurts on the inside. I had said something about him in the last video, and I think I may have misspoken. I want to apologize if that came off the wrong way. I hope he embraces being a father, because fatherhood is the greatest spiritual experience. But I can't even imagine the pain that man is feeling. Like I said, I got good relationship with my baby mamas now, and a great relationship with my wife. So I luckily I got 3 women to deal with, but it's all beautiful. But fatherhood matters in a world where you don't hear much about fathers at all. I mean, Father's Day, I think, is next week, and I ain't seen many Father's Day commercials or Father's Day ads. I think I seen one from Dick's Sporting Goods. But, Pride and pretty much, eliminated everything that was associated with June outside of that. And I just say we gotta understand the foundation and the roots. We gotta understand we need strong mothers, we need strong fathers, we need strong families. We come from nature, and we getting caught up in technology and what we can go out of here and create. And if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, man, you got to know what's coming in society. And it's really easy to follow the trends. I keep saying that, but everything that always happens, you look back and say, oh, we've been bamboozled, we've been manipulated. So if you're available to take off the blinders in this current moment, understand that this is transitioning to a new point in society. I seen they say about 2028 they'll be able to create babies in the lab. So it's time to step out of the matrix, put the phones down, and get back to being able to talk to your mama, talk to your daddy, talk to your brother and sister, because you can have all the material things and all the things society is giving you. And Apple about to give you this headset where you really gonna be able to zone out from the world. But everything that really matters in life is free. And one thing technology cannot replace is love. So if you got people that's close to you, you're doing better than you think. And I know I can give you love through these videos, but you and I both know that don't replace somebody giving you a big hug. You know, somebody sitting next to you smiling at your joke. So I'm just filling in the gap until the world lifts itself from this negative frequency and this negative vibration, which it will happen. Day by day, it's slowly changing. Human consciousness is rising, though it may not seem like it. It's always 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But understand that God wins in the end. So I hope everybody has a super mega awesome Monday. Share this video with somebody who needs it. Smile, laugh, be happy, be happy, be happy. Be in a state of gratitude. You can do anything with faith, consistency, and hard work. And I'm going to say it one more time. Smile, be happy, never be too proud to pray. And walk around just diddy bopping, because blessings in abundance are on the way. I love you all. We outie. Peace.